Check in, shining brightly as well along the sideline is Laura Oakman.
Hi, Tom. The Giants added 5 more players to their IR this week, making it a league-leading 20 for the season, which means even more new faces. One player said this week, as they're getting ready, loading up for the bus, they heard players saying, "Am I on the right bus?" You know, Tom, when guys who are playing in the game aren't even sure how to get to the game, that's a hard season.
Well, David Deal, you told a story earlier about that 2004 year.
Yeah, 2004 year, last game of the season. You do the old leg over, crossover, lower back stretch, and I looked next to me, and it was somebody I'd never seen before. We thought it was Suit Up a Fan Day because we signed that player on Saturday, and they were starting on special teams that next day.
How about that? So that kind of year. So the Titans won the toss. They deferred to get the ball in the second half. So here we go. We're underway. That one banged out of the back of the end zone, and the Giants will get it at the 20-yard line. Today making his 164th consecutive start is Eli Manning. 10th straight year, over 3,000 passing yards. He's had to adopt David Deal to an entirely brand new offense.
It most certainly has. This is an offense that is predicated all at the line of scrimmage, and in their base formation with a shotgun, one back, one tight end, they can run their entire offense.
They have a lot of injuries along that offensive line, so yet another combination starts there. And getting a start due to the injury to Rashad Jennings is the rookie Andre Williams, and he carries 4, a gain of almost 5. And you look at some of the standouts for the Giants, and it starts with number 13.
It most certainly does. He was the rookie of the month for the month of November with 38 catches and 593 yards. But the most important thing is they need to target him today in the second half, which they didn't do last week.
That was a game where the Giants blew a 21-0 lead, 21-3 at halftime. And a catch made up to the 35-yard line by Preston Parker. Parker's turned out to be a pretty nice addition to this Giants team with all the injuries they've had, really at every position, including the wide receiver spot. The Titans giving up 28 points per game, but they rave about Jarrell Casey in the year he's had.
He's their best defensive player. He is the most disruptive with 38 quarterback pressures on the season, and he just had one on this opening play with the quick swing move on Will Beatty.
118, what is it?
Maybe a gain of a yard for Andre Williams. Williams started 4 games in a row when Rashad Jennings was out earlier this year with that knee injury. And Williams did not even average 3 yards per carry in those 4 starts.
It's going to be interesting to see how they play this out today because it's usually been a thunder and lightning. Jennings setting up the runs for Andre Williams to come in. It's going to be important for him to hold on to the ball today because this Titans defense is looking to create turnovers.
Last weekend, a couple of turnovers directly led to touchdowns, and that come from behind win by the Jaguars. Ruben Randall eludes a tackle and appears to be about a yard short of a first down. So 3rd down and 1 coming up for the Giants. Ben McAdoo, first-year offensive coordinator, many years working under Mike McCarthy. Only 37 years young. Third and 1 becomes first down on a carry by Williams close to midfield. Giants now 14 out of 17 on the year on 3rd down and a yard. And with the exception of 5 times, they have run it 3rd and 1. You and I have been talking a lot about that this year.
It was a nice little inside zone play on that. Larry Donnell was able to set the edge at the backside, so he was able to cut that right back and get that first down.
Put it in the hands of Beckham. They were talking about him throwing the ball this week. And looking to Ruben Randall into double coverage. I mean, they're talking about this guy playing quarterback. They're talking about him playing defensive back.
And they said that he could throw the ball with either hand. So obviously a little trickery here in the beginning of the game to try keeping this defense off balance because they're going to find 13 on the field and they're going to keep their eyes on him.
Injury in the end zone. Cornerback Bleedy Ray Wilson, who is questionable this week with a hamstring injury, is still down on the field. Welcome back to Nashville. Taking over for the injured Bleedy Ray Wilson is Cody Sensabaugh. Was injured early in the year, but has come on to have a pretty decent season for Ken Wisenhunt's Titans. Second down and 10 at midfield for the Giants. Quick throw to Beckham Jr. Run out of bounds after a gain of 6. Odell Beckham Jr. missed all of training camp, the preseason, with that injured hamstring. Was inactive the first month of the season. Got a touchdown in his debut against Atlanta. But my, oh my. Starting 3 weeks later, back-to-back 100-yard receiving games, spectacular catches. And you can understand why they made him their #1 pick out of LSU.
Ray Horton and this Titans defense ratcheted up 77% pressure in this. See how they play it.
From the 3-man rush.
Yep.
And there's Parker for a first down to the Titan 30-yard line.
Nice protection by the Giants offensive line. Give enough time for Eli Manning to move and be comfortable in the pocket, hit his progressions, and have a nice strike to get that first down.
It's a gain of 15, first down Giants at the Titan 30-yard line. Eli 4 out of 4 to begin the game. Yeah. First carry for Rashad Jennings. And he slips down inside the 27, down to the 26, a gain of 4 for Rashad Jennings. The Giants' leading rusher on the season came over from Oakland during the offseason.
Talk about the quiet confidence in a leader. He runs hard, he is tough, he's determined, and he's playing injured right now. That goes to show the type of heart that this player has.
And 91 rushing yards, couple of touchdowns, but injured that right ankle against Jacksonville last week.
Go, 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 go. Alpha, alpha, alpha.
Second down. Manning guns it over the middle to Beckham. First and goal, Giants down to the 8-yard line.
He's going to run that deep post route inside. Look at how much cushion that they're giving him at the line of scrimmage. He runs that one free. That's pitch and catch, and that looks like what they do right in practice. They've got to challenge him. They've got to get some hands on him. They've got to try to redirect him, and that's when he's ineffective.
Gain of 18 on that completion to Beckham. Little delay, they give it to Williams, and he is met at the 5-yard line. It's incredible when you think about Eli Manning, we said, making his 164th consecutive start. There you see the numbers in the red zone. Giants have been good in this area. Despite all their fumbles and all their interceptions and all the turnovers, when they get in the red zone, they've been among the best in the NFL this year. Donnell wrapped up. Holds on to the ball. Let me say that because he had one of the turnovers, that fumble in the fourth quarter that was returned for a touchdown. He has 4 lost fumbles on the year.
He's going to run that out of motion out of the backfield, but he's been their red zone target. They like to get him involved to open up things because of the mismatches he creates. But you're right, Tom. That huge turnover in that last game was a complete momentum changer.
Giants have 11 touchdown receptions out of their tight ends this year. Thirteenth play of the drive. Jump ball. We have talked about this play all year long. At best, it's a 50-50 shot.
Looks like there was some miscommunication. There was the bump, but look at, he wasn't able to get to the back of the end zone. And I know that you want to use Larry Donnell for his height and his size, but he's been most effective down the seams and in his crossing routes in the middle. Not so much with those jump balls.
To be a 20-yard field goal try for Josh Brown. He missed for the first time all year long a week ago. Trying to make it 20 in a row inside of 40 yards, and it is good. So they chew up 7 minutes. Giants lead 3-0. Most plays on an opening drive by the New York Giants this entire year. 14 of them. Chewing up 7 minutes and 1 second. Capped off by a 20-yard field goal from Josh Brown. We talked about how injured the Giants have been. The same is true for Tennessee. Same is true for a lot of teams. Antonio Andrews has never touched the ball in the NFL until now from the 11-yard line. And out across the 25 and dragged down at the 31-yard line. So the Titans get the ball for the first time. Zach Mettenberger in at quarterback for the Titans. Rookie out of LSU, Zach Mettenberger, trying to become the Titans' first rookie quarterback to get a win and a start going all the way back to Vince Young in 2006. They hand it off to Bishop Sankey, their leading ball carrier. That's a gain of close to 3. Titans are without their top 2 wide receivers due to injuries from a week ago, Justin Hunter and Kendall Wright.
But the person that is going to be their major target is Delaney Walker. He's their main guy that they go to on third down and in the red zone. And he's the only tight end right now in the NFL with 2 games of 140-plus yards receiving.
And again, we mentioned injuries, and certainly this time of the year, it is such a huge factor, not only for non-playoff teams, but obviously those in pursuit of the postseason. The Titans have neither one of their starting tackles active today, their regular starting tackles. Sankey again, and that'll be a gain of 2, third down coming up. And for the first time, we check in back in L.A. a game break with Kurt Menefee.
Well, like your 2 teams, the Carolina Panthers riding a 6-game losing streak, but they're up in New Orleans. Kelvin Benjamin with the first touchdown, 10-0. Carolina trying to get its first win since week 5 and get back in that NFC South race. Tom?
Well, everybody's in that NFC South race, David. We've seen plenty of it.
Yes, we have, and it's going to be interesting to see who is really going to take over this division, because there's not a team that says, this is our division, we want to make the playoffs.
Third down and 4, blitz coming. Mettenberger, miscommunication there with Dexter McCluster, and it is 3 and out for the Titans.
Dexter McCluster was a huge free agent acquisition for him. Now, when he was in Kansas City, he played that slot position way more than he's been playing inside like he has in this team. But the thing about this is the mismatch that he creates is great, because you want him one-on-one against the linebacker, but you can't have that miscommunication on third down, and that's been their big issue, and that's why they've only converted 29%, NFL's worst this season.
Beckham at the 11. And a nice return up close to the 30-yard line. So Eli and the Giants, a 3-0 lead. They have the football when we return to Nashville.
Well, Tom, we talked about how important it is for Odell Beckham Jr. to get started and how different he'll play, different positions. Here he is in the backfield. He's getting out there. You see him outside, wide out. You see him inside now at the slot position. We've seen him on the reverse. They're going to do whatever they can to keep this defense off balance, because what they're trying to do defensively is find 13.
Right now he's at the bottom of your screen, split far to the west on this first down formation. And they're throwing the football, and they're looking for Beckham down the middle of the field. Oh, my goodness. In traffic, he just snatched it away from Jason McCourty. How about that?
That's just down at the bottom. McCourty is the guy who plays up against teams' best receivers. It's pressing him, just beats him by speed, one-on-one. Eli puts that ball up on out there, but Odell Beckham is able to show. He's able to find that ball, use his hand-eye coordination, and come down with a huge play for this offense.
A 50-yard gain on the reception by Beckham. Already 3 catches for 74 yards.
118. Where's that?
Put it in his hands again. And he's down to the 15. That'll be a gain of 7.
As we said in the last drive, they're giving Odell Beckham cushion. They're letting him run his routes. They've got to do something to disrupt him, get him off of the timing with Eli Manning, because they are clicking right now. And it's going to be a tough day and a long day for McCourty if he doesn't press him and challenge him at the line of scrimmage.
No, I'm going. Go.
Well, they were looking at Beckham again, and that one was just off target and a throw by Manning. 3rd down and 3 coming up.
I like what the Giants are doing offensively right now with their play-action game, letting this offensive line get in sync, letting them be aggressive, because that'll pay dividends down the road because they can put themselves in 3rd and short positions like they're in now.
Rashad Jennings checks back into the Giants' backfield. He is a much better pass catcher than Andre Williams. When you figure they're throwing on 3rd and 3, timeout.
This is the first charge timeout, New York, 30-second timeout.
You know, ever since he made that catch, which everybody saw on national television a couple of weeks ago, people are showing up early to watch what he's going to do in the warm-ups.
You know, this reminds you of the baseball back in the day when everybody would come for the BP practice to watch McGuire hit him out of the park. Well, this is what's been going on now on the road. You see all the people with their camera phones watching him come up with these big catches, cheering and applauding louder for a pregame player than I've ever seen in my 11 years as an NFL player.
And on to a great start, which you may remember he was last week. Had 5 catches for 59 yards in the first half. He only had 2 catches in the entire second half. 3rd down and 3. Eli to the end zone. And it is a touchdown for Odell Beckham Jr. Boy, that was the Odell Beckham Jr. drive for the Giants.
Working one-on-one again. They're not pressing at the line of scrimmage. They're letting him get that free release. They've got to challenge him at the line of scrimmage. He is too explosive, too fast to try to disrupt him. Like I stated earlier in this drive, if Jason McCourty does not challenge him, or if they do not press him or get some bracket help over, he's going to have an unbelievable day today.
And a 50-yard reception to begin the drive, and caps it off with his 6th touchdown reception of the year. Ten-0 Giants in front after the touchdown reception by Odell Beckham Jr. Oilers' tight defense surrendering a league worst 28 points per game. Giants defense not much better. They're giving up 27 a game. Andrews will take a knee in the end zone. Titans have the ball to 20. Fox brings you the biggest fight card in broadcast TV history. Junior Dos Santos. Say it for me, big man.
Stipe Miocic.
Thank you. Plus Rafael Dos Anjos taking on Nate Diaz. I mean, you're dialed in big time. The Ultimate Fighter finale on Fox Sports 1 Friday continues into Saturday with UFC Fight Night on Fox.
Stipe Miocic, the big Cleveland Croatian baller.
First down. And the reception made. A very short game for the tight end. Having a good year again, Delaney Walker.
Well, the biggest thing that this Giants defense has said, that they have got to pressure Zach Mettenberger. And Jason Pierre-Paul has got to come up big for this football team today. We said, what are you playing for? He's playing for a new contract. You need to show it today.
Another guy they're going to have to make a decision on is Antrell Roll. Their outstanding strong safety. Those are two of the real leaders on this Giants defense. And the catch is made. That's a nice throw by Mettenberger to the veteran Derek Hagan. And it'll bring up third down for the Titans. They went 3 and out their first time up.
Derek Hagan, a former New York Giant, former teammate of mine. We used to call him the Swiss Army knife of wide receivers because he could play everything. He could play every position. He knew what to do, and he's a very experienced veteran.
He had an incredible collegiate career at Arizona State. He's bounced around 6 teams in his 8 years in the NFL. Blitz coming, and Mettenberger will be dropped by Jameel McClain.
Really good coverage by the New York Giants. They're able to protect it on the back end, which gives this defensive line time to continue to pursue and pressure and stay on the attack. You see him, JPP ripping through the outside, forcing Zach Mettenberger to step up right into Jameel McClain.
Well, the Giants in that loss to Jacksonville last week had a season-high 7 sacks, but they did not force any turnovers. Turn to punt it, and Beckham Jr. slips across the 40, 45 up to the 48-yard line. We're not even a quarter into this one, and it has all been about the junior Big O. All Giants so far through this opening quarter, a 10-0 lead. David Deal, Laura Oakman, Tom Brenneman back in Nashville. 2004, you were a rookie out of Illinois. It was Tom Coughlin's first year as head coach of the Giants. 11 years later, here's a guy that they're wondering, is he going to be back next year?
Now that's the big question surrounding New York. I think for Coach Coughlin to secure his job, they've got to win games here down the stretch in these last 4. And the biggest thing that I've always said when I've been asked about this is, yes, it's been a tough season. They've had injuries. They've had all that stuff. But who are you going to replace Coach Coughlin with? Who are you going to bring in with those type of credentials that he has that can have an immediate impact in New York City? Because it's not easy being a coach.
All right, let me ask you this. And look right into that camera, because a lot of Giants fans are wondering, do you think his voice is getting lost in that locker room?
I don't think it has. I do not think that Coach Coughlin's voice has been lost in that locker room. Last year, we were in the same position. We lost our first 6 games of the season. We were able to come back and win 7 of the last 10, but we had help. Unfortunately, they do not have that right now.
When you look back through the history of the Giants and their head coaches, Steve Owen is the all-time win leader. Won 2 NFL titles. Jim Lee Howe won 1. Bill Parcells in the Super Bowl era 2. Same number for Tom Coughlin in 2007, 2011. You have rings from both of those teams as a starter and a Pro Bowler, David Deal. Well, we will be talking more about that throughout the afternoon, because I don't know if there's anybody who would have a more interesting perspective on this topic than David Deal, who played for Tom Coughlin for 10 years. Penalty flag thrown on a 3rd down.
Delay of game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
Let's get an injury update down on the field with Laura Oakman.
A couple really big ones. David's talking about how this Giants offense needs to rattle this Titans defense. Injuries are killing them right now. Safety Damian Stafford in the locker room being evaluated for a concussion. Cornerback Grady Ray Wilson still in the locker room. His shoulder is being evaluated. His return is questionable.
All right, Laura, thank you very much. Stafford got shaken up when he delivered that hit in the end zone on Odell Beckham Jr. 3rd down and 15 after the delay of game. And Beckham will be denied anywhere near first down yardage. So for the first time today, the Giants will punt. Nice play made by Brandon Harris.
They run that little screen with Odell Beckham Jr. out of the backfield, try to get him in open space to give him some room to work. The defense for the Titans were backed up. They knew it was a 3rd and long situation. Make sure everything stays in front of you. Very nice stop for the Titans.
So a penalty flag was thrown, and Ken Wisenhunt
After the play, Unsportsmanlike Tony, number 13, offense. 15-yard penalty. It's 4th down.
Well, with all the things you can say that this young man does well, that is not something that Tom Coughlin's going to be happy about at all.
We saw Coach Coughlin just follow him right there off the sidelines to the bench. You know, when you're in a tough game like this and you're in a fight and you've already hit adversity the way that you have, you can't have penalties like that, because that is the way that not only do you lose games, but that undisciplined play affects everybody out on the football field.
Fielded at the 28-yard line. Slammed down to the deck is McCluster by Zach Diassi, and he's the long snapper. Look down right in the middle of your screen, 13. Flips the ball to player. He got shoved, but they saw the flip of the ball at the Titan.
Coach Coughlin going over and talk to him, telling him that he's smart. Stay focused. Keep your head in this game.
Titans looking for their first down, and this is not going to be out. That ball is loose. And he's scooped up. And racing into the end zone is Marcus Kuhn for a touchdown.
Now, I said JPP has got to cause pressure and be an impact player. They flipped him to the other side. He's one-on-one against Stingley, who's in there for a hurt Titans offensive line. He's able to get that pressure, reach around, start getting Mettenberger to step up, create that huge turnover and a touchdown. This is what the Giants defense said that they needed to do: create turnovers, but also score points on defense.
Really, it looked like the hit by Devon Kennard was the one that jarred the football loose after that initial surge by Pierre Paul. And Marcus Kuhn, along with some other young defensive linemen for the Giants. Demontre Moore, Jay Bromley, Kerry Wynn, going to get a long look over the final punt. Point after is good. Kuhn, the 26-yard fumble return for a touchdown.
JPP right there. You know, they're moving them around. This is something that is going to be an advantage for the Giants defense. If they can flip-flop them, put them on different sides so you can't always slide your protections, chip with a running back or a tight end. That's what we need to see out of this defense, and that's what we need to see out of JPP consistently the entire game.
And Beckham will celebrate with his teammates as they get the takeaway. It's been a while since the Giants have picked up a fumble and returned it for a touchdown. You were playing for him 35 games ago, David Deal.
Marcus Kuhn, he's got an interesting story. He's actually from Germany.
Yep.
NC State somehow was able to find out about this player in Germany, came over from across, was able to make an impact. He's a big guy, and you know what we talked about with these injuries. You want to play young players. You want to get these guys experience. And they're going to learn it right now if they're going to show what they're capable of on the football field, because a lot of these young guys at this point in the season would not normally get these looks.
And Kuhn is a guy that they've had for a couple of years, but injuries have kept him off the field. He's only played in 15 games his first 2 years in the league. And Bruce will take the knee. 17-0 Giants. Still 1:07 to go in this opening quarter. Can you believe it's December already? That means the holidays right around the corner. Fox will help you celebrate with a very merry Sunday fun day. 4 brand new Christmas episodes will fill you with cheer indeed. 8 Eastern, 7 Central tonight on Fox. Punt, fumble for a touchdown.
We talked about a fast start. That's not the start that you want to have.
Second key thrown down after a gain of 3 by Kennard. Now there's a young player they're excited about, not only to watch the remainder of this year, but moving forward for the Giants in Devon Kennard.
he is most certainly one of the guys that has been a bright spot. He's been playing and got his opportunity through injury. And that's the biggest thing. Opportunities are never lost. Someone will take the one that you miss, and he's taking advantage of it.
Seki up to the 26-yard line on what might be the final play of this opening quarter, a quarter dominated by the New York Giants. Although Mettenberger is hurrying them to the line of scrimmage for the first time today on a 3rd and 4.
Hey, Flounder!
Nope. That'll end the opening quarter. What a start for Odell Beckham Jr. and the Giants in Nashville, 17-0. Fox NFL Sunday continues in a moment. Well, the way this year is going for injured quarterbacks, this might be the way you have to start auditioning guys in December.
You love watching this stuff in between breaks of games, fans getting out there for competitions.
Mettenberger bobbling the snap and then able to release it quickly to McCluster, and that is the Titans' first down of the game on the first play of this second quarter. Tennessee has been outscored 98-30 in the first quarter this year. 98 points allowed, the most among all teams in the NFL, and the 30 points scored tied for the fewest with Carolina.
I think the biggest thing that has hurt them this season is their time of possession. They're only averaging 26 minutes a game, which has put their defense out on the field way too long.
Jonathan Hankins hitting Mettenberger from behind as he was just starting to cut it loose, and we check in back in Los Angeles with Joel Klatt. Hi, Joel.
Hey, Tom, we go to Cleveland. The Colts trying to lock up a playoff spot. The Jaguars win over Houston would do it, but Andrew Luck sacked by Paul Kruger and Desmond Bryant. Fumble recovered in the end zone, and Cleveland with the 7-0 lead. Tom, I know you're excited. Buckeyes headed to the playoff.
Better believe it, brother. Semifinals. What an unbelievable job, Urban Meyer. 3 quarterbacks this year, and they're in the Final Four. That one is caught by Delaney Walker up to the 45. Finishing that thought about, college coaches as Stingley is down. Now, he is a replacement starter at right tackle for the injured Michael Orr. So this could be a significant injury for Tennessee in this game if Stingley is unable to go.
It'd be a very significant loss considering Will Svitek, who is usually their crossover dual multi-tackle, left and right tackle as a backup, is starting at left tackle for Taylor Lewan. Stingley steps in at right tackle. Who's next? That's been the biggest thing. Who is next for this Titans offensive line?
Orr missed last week with an injured toe. Lewan has been out now 3 weeks in a row, including today with an injured ankle. Stingley looks like he might have a chance to be okay, although we'll wait and see.
Taron Jones, number 75, is in place right now at right tackle, and he is a monster.
That means he's built like you.
Well, that wasn't back in my playing days. I'm currently 265 right now, so I'm a lot different than when I was playing.
You never went to 341, though.
No. I've never been over the 320 mark.
Third down. Short drop. Nice throw on the slant by Nate Washington, and there is a penalty flag behind the line of scrimmage.
Illegal hands to the face, number 75, offense. 10-yard penalty, still third down.
And it's a right tackle who just came in, Taron Jones.
JPP right away hit him with an inside quick swim move. You're going to have to watch this matchup. They try to slide their protection. You can see the guard's eyes looking that way. Chance, you've got to go help him. You've got to protect his inside when your backer drops out like that. That's the whole point of a slide protection.
Well, they continue to work on Stingley. Tanis Mettenberger, I think he shows you a little something. He's a tough young man. He had the hit he took last week from J.J. Watt that knocked him out of the game. But here he is right back in the lineup 7 days later.
When you talk to him, you can tell he's got a chip on his shoulder. He wants to prove, even though he's a late-round draft pick, he's just as good as any of these first-rounders.
First reception of the year in the first game of the year for Chris Durham. So now a decision to make.
He's going to run that inside quick slant. You see the linebackers fall up, bite up a little bit, and here we are. It's going to be a fourth down situation.
Fourth down and a yard at, well, almost the 47-yard line. It's a long yard. They need to get, it appears, beyond the 48. They have to spend a timeout. Kent Wisenhunt, his first year, 7th overall, spent 6 years in Arizona. Of course, he led the Cardinals to their only Super Bowl appearance. Coming up tonight on Fox Sports Live, don't miss an inspiring special feature as Tiger Woods meets a special 3-year-old and the most unlikely of golfers. Now, he's not only inspiring Tiger, but redefining what it means to be disabled. Looking forward to seeing that. Fox Sports Live tonight, 11 Eastern on Fox Sports 1, streaming live on Fox Sports Go.
And this is what I love about football. Big Carl Klug, number 97, the defensive lineman. This will be his 9th snap in there in short yardage and goal line situations. It's going to be interesting. 8 out of them have been runs, and here's the pass.
And they throw it to the big fella. How about that?
That is a lineman's dream right there. They call that a little K4 or K5, that route, that little one sliding out of the backfield. Look at him holding on to that football. He's not giving that one away when he's running to the sidelines. Nimble, big man. I like it.
Very nicely done for the 4th-year defensive lineman out of Iowa. Well, there must be something about those Big Ten defensive linemen being able to be pass catchers.
Yeah, J.J. Watt has shown it all season.
Mettenberger gets out of trouble. Flips it away. And then Bromley, or Kennard rather, just level Sankey.
There's big Carl Klug again. Look at the eyes looking in, the hand-eye coordination, turning it upfield. Look at him maintaining his balance and footwork. You got to love that stuff with football.
Tennessee trailing 17-0. And the throw is right on the money. And the catch made by the veteran Nate Washington this 10th season. His 30th catch of the year, and that's the first down.
Nate Washington down at the bottom of the screen is a smart and savvy vet. Does a nice job running it off, coming back to the football, making sure that he gets Shockey Brown on his heels. Very nice conversion for the Titans offense.
Mettenberger, the 178th overall pick in this year's draft. David mentioned earlier he lasted all the way to the 6th round out of LSU, where he was a 3-year stud. Screen to Sankey, and he's inside the 30 down to the 28-yard line. And today is making his 6th NFL start since taking over at the end of October.
One of the biggest things when you talk to him is how much of a difference Cam Cameron at LSU made to his development, teaching him a pro-style offense, getting him in sync and in rhythm. And the funniest thing that he said in his first game, that he dropped back for his first pass, he thought everybody was covered. He went back and watched the game. Nobody was covered. It was just so fast, and he was so inexperienced at that time. But he's come a very, very long way in his development. But the key thing for him is, just like any quarterback, they've got to keep him upright today, and they cannot let him get pressure.
3rd down and 5. Under 10 minutes to go here in the second quarter from Nashville. Blitz coming again. Crossing pattern. Well short of the first down on a catch by Hagan. Well, you went for it on 4th and 1. You're in field goal range now. And Ken Wisenhunt has made the decision on what would be a 4th and 4 to give it a try on the right leg of Ryan Succop.
You talked about Antrell Roll. Antrell Roll does a nice job on that 3rd down, fighting through all the traffic, keeping his eyes on Hagan, his offensive guy that he's in charge of covering. You saw all the different crossing routes, but Antrell Roll was able to diagnose it, get through it, and make a big play in the open field.
42-yard try. Succop 13 out of 15 on the year. 13 out of 16 on the year. 17-0 after the missed field goal try by Succop. Gaylord Opryland Resort and Convention Center, formerly known, of course, as Opryland Hotel. Well, if you like country music, they got it going on here, don't they?
They most certainly do, and it's been great to hear some live music. You know, when we went out to eat on Friday night, just at the restaurant, to hear people playing and singing, just nice feeling.
First down reception by the tight end Larry Donnell. So now the Giants in hurry-up mode. Under Ben McAdoo and this new system they put in, it was very ugly during the preseason and through the first 2 games of the year. It got better in a hurry during their 3-game winning streak. And most who have seen the Giants all year long will say, yeah, there have been a lot of turnovers. Eli Manning so far this year has 12 interceptions. 5 of those came in 1 game against the Giants. They've lost a lot of fumbles. 14 of them. First down carry by Williams, not going anywhere. But, you know, David, those that see the Giants regularly feel like it's been a pretty good adaptation to this new system. Would you agree or not?
Yeah, I mean, this is a completely different offense than what they ran last season. I mean, just look at Eli Manning. You know, talking about him and his footwork being completely opposite than what he's done his entire career. So, yeah, there's been some learning curves, and we've seen what they were capable of doing when they had a cohesive, healthy unit.
See, the numbers are significantly better for Eli Manning this year than where they were a year ago under the longtime offensive coordinator Kevin Gilbride. Second down catch made by Donnell. It brings up 3rd down and 4.
Just think about how different Odell Beckham Jr. would be if he had Victor Cruz out there with him, the 1-2 combination. It looked like a completely different offense. I will say this, I've been surprised right now with the Tennessee Titans because they've been a normal blitz team on 3rd down that they're sending the house early on. Let's see if they dial it up now because they're showing mug linebackers.
Easy throw and catch there to convert on the first down, and already that puts Beckham over 100 yards in the game. His 7th catch of the afternoon.
This is his 4th 100-yard game. You're going to see him down at the bottom of the screen, motion inside. Just send it off, run that right to the sideline, and I'm going to continue to say it this whole game. You've got to pressure him. You've got to get your hands on him and try to redirect him and ruin the timing. Because right now, Eli Manning and him are in sync, and they are rolling.
Williams to the 41. That'll be a gain of 4 on first down. This game is moving along quite reminiscent of the Giant team you saw a week ago.
The biggest thing is the second half. They've moved the ball effectively this game, but it was the second half, especially the 3rd quarter, which was really the changing point of that football game.
Go. Second down, Manning, good protection, looking down to Ruben Randall, who just fell down. Bring up 3rd down. Well, last week, their first 4 possessions of the game, they had a punt and 3 touchdowns. The last 9 times the Giants had the ball, 4 punts, a field goal, a missed field goal, 3 fumbles. 2 of those turnovers converted directly into Jaguar touchdowns. Giants 4 out of 6 on third down so far today.
I got you.
Blitz coming this time. And I'm not sure if Beckham hung on. They said he did. And that is a catch for a first down to the 34-yard line.
You see him on the outside one-on-one, but this time they actually brought Michael Griffin to the inside to try bracketing him. Ran the out route, was able to get that square out to the sticks and hold on to that football and get that first down.
Well, in a short amount of time, the career high in a single game for Odell Beckham Jr. is 156 yards. That was against Indianapolis, his first 100-yard game. And he's on his way to a lot more than that today. 8 for 111. Second down.
When I talked to Joe Spiegel when they drafted Odell Beckham Jr., that ball is coming out at 45 miles an hour out of that jug machine. And he's been there for over 20 years. He said, in the 20 years I've been here, I've never seen a receiver catch the ball that soft out of that machine.
I'm saying something.
Feel it, Jay. Go.
Nice play of the drive, and they hand it off to Rashad Jennings. Injured ankle and all, he's out there today for Tom Coughlin and the Giants. Gain of maybe 2, third down and 8 coming up. Beckham in the slot at the top of your screen. And this will back up the Giants, it appears, 5 yards. Or is it offsides against the defense?
Defense.
Neutral zone infraction, number 97, defense. 5-yard penalty, still third down.
Called that on Klug. You know, that's surprising. That's only the 5th one that they've had on the defensive line. They've done a very good job this season timing up the cadence, the snap counts of other teams. So Eli must have done a nice job with his voice inflection with the count on that play.
A much more manageable third down and 3 after the 5-yard penalty. And making the reception on the far side is Parker. And the Giants drive continues to the Titan 15-yard line.
Had that little Twins look with Parker and Odell Beckham down at the bottom of the screen. Odell Beckham ran the fly that let Parker get not the attention that he got. He was one-on-one and was able to come up with another big catch.
Wide right. Hey, yeah, Q8. Hey, 33. Hey, 33.
Same play we saw a minute ago. Beckham tried to slip through to tackle the Brandon Harris and then dives ahead inside the 10 down to the 9-yard line.
Odell Beckham Jr. fighting for the yards after carry. But I think that they're doing a nice job now of moving the pocket, moving the launch point of Eli Manning. That when they had a nice little rollout to keep this defense off balance. And so far, this offensive line has done a nice job.
We talked about all the shuffling around both of these teams have done on the offensive line last week alone. James Brewer was hurt. They put Schwartz on IR. There's a catch by Donnell and tripped up to the 4-yard line.
This is a player you have to give a lot of credit to, is Larry Donnell. He was a practice squad guy, paid his dues, worked really hard through the system, and he's really stepped up in this tight end oriented offense. When you look back at all those years of Jermichael Finley and all those players that were huge for Aaron Rodgers, he's been that guy this year for Eli Manning.
Well, the only negative has been we brought up earlier, the lost fumbles by Donnell.
Yep.
2-minute warning. All Giants so far today in Music City. Follow your favorite team all season long. Just go to iTunes.com/NFL. 13th play of this drive for the Giants. They have been very impressive so far today here in Tennessee. Leading 17-0, first and goal from the 4. Williams for a yard, maybe 2, depending on the spot. What a day it's been for Odell Beckham Jr. 9 catches, 117 yards. Compare that to the entire Tennessee receiving corps.
They call that having a day, is what they call that. But I think the most important thing, just like last week, they've got to do it in the second half with them.
And you brought that up with Coach Coughlin yesterday about finishing. And he wasn't finished for a while.
No, he sure wasn't.
Coming up on the Visa Halftime, I'll be joined by all these guys as the Steelers and Bengals lock up in a key AFC North battle, and the Ravens look to take a wild card spot from the Dolphins. We get you caught up on all the action coming up on the Visa Half.
Hey, who's this good-looking guy?
Howie or Michael? Which one are you talking about?
Williams bounces to the outside and is dragged down short of the goal line by the rookie Avery Williamson. 3rd down and goal now for the Giants.
This will be 3rd and final timeout, Tennessee.
And the Titans will spend a timeout. Well, on a 3rd and goal from just outside the 2-yard line, Odell Beckham Jr. is standing on the sideline. Jumbo set. And they're going to throw it. Those are the kind of plays, and we saw the jump ball attempt that was nowhere close to being a completion. Where if you're a football fan, there is nothing wrong whether you're a fan or whether in our job, where you ask yourself, what are you doing here?
You know, they had Fells running the crossing route across the middle. Eli went through his progressions. But when you get down at the goal line and you're in that position, it's your will against theirs. And you, at this point in this game, I wish they would have put it in the hands of the offensive lineman. Run that football and prove that you're the more disciplined and dominant team at the line of scrimmage today.
Well, it's been nearly a perfect first half for the Giants. 19-year-old field goal good by Brown. 20-0 New York. (20-0) with 1:38 to go. Tom Coughlin from Waterloo, New York, 19 years as an NFL head coach, won 161 games, one of 13 coaches in the history of this great game to win multiple Super Bowls. But this will be the 3rd straight year, David Deal, the Giants are not going to make the playoffs. And in a lot of cities, none more so than New York. You don't make the playoffs 3 years in a row, you're going to start getting kicked around. Well, for some of you perhaps just tuning in, been a big first half for Odell Beckham Jr. and the Giants and Eli Manning, 20-0 lead. And their defense has shown up so far today. Tennessee just 66 yards of offense, including his fumble on a hit by Kennard that was returned for a touchdown by Marcus Coon. The Titans have also missed a field goal try after a good drive during the 2nd quarter. Ken Wisenhunt, a former walk-on at Georgia Tech. He was a quarterback when he went there. They converted him into a tight end, was a 12th round draft pick, and spent nearly a decade in the NFL as a pretty good player. Two-minute offense for Mettenberger and the Titans. Ball stripped away on the hit by Pierre-Paul. And somehow Pierre-Paul looked like he wanted to get up and start running with the ball. And he whiffed on the ball. And Mettenberger's hurt.
illegal hands to the face, number 68, offense, 10-yard penalty.
Mettenberger, he's up, but you can see he is in some
decline
pain.
the penalty. It'll be second down.
They looked to help and chip to JPP, and he turned that into a straight bull rush, was able to get Will Svitek back on his heels, come up with a huge sack and strip force fumble. They were able to recover it, but they've got to be very cautious here because Mettenberger has been hurt coming into this game. They need him to run this offense successfully.
He injured his right throwing shoulder when J.J. Watt drove him into the ground. That was in the third quarter of last week's game. And you saw a moment ago when he went to throw the ball with the right arm. And the momentum there, and then all of a sudden it's taken away when Jason Pierre-Paul grabbed his right elbow. And that sort of torque, would not be surprised at all if he has re-injured that right shoulder.
Now you can see him really hampered by it right now. You see him kind of leaning and showing some of it with his body language, but he is a tough guy. You've got to give Zach Mettenberger a lot of credit.
On the sideline, I'm all right. We have to throw it on 3rd and 13. That throw right on the money and just plain dropped by Delaney Walker.
It's been a part of why they've been having the struggles on 3rd down. The penalties, they have 15 offensive holding calls, which is 3rd most in the NFL, but their drops have been in key parts of games. And when you're down in a game like this and you lean on your veterans like Delaney Walker, you've got to catch that football.
Now Brent Kern puts a foot on it. And at the 37, a fair catch for Beckham Jr. Giants have plenty of time to try and add to this 20-0 lead. Love to welcome the men and women in uniform serving around the world, watching today's broadcast in 175 countries and aboard ships at sea on AFN, the American Forces Network. Thank you for all you do. Standing tall, proud, and strong for the greatest country in the world. Our thoughts and prayers with all of you. First down and dropped off out of the backfield, Andre Williams. You know an unbelievable stat about Andre Williams? He did not catch a single pass in 4 years at Boston College. Not one. In fact, his senior year in high school in Allentown, Pennsylvania, he only had 4 catches.
And he was a dominant runner at Boston College. His yards after carry and contact, that is a very surprising stat.
And here he is with more catches on back-to-back plays, double the amount that he had at BC.
Giants moving the ball downfield, but you know, this in the first half is what we've seen out of the New York Giants. They stressed it, and I think every fan at home that is watching this game knows the third quarter has been their worst quarter. They've been outscored 109-34 in the third quarters. That's a 75-point differential, which is the worst in the NFL. So if they can come up with points on this drive, that's great. The third quarter is going to be the key one.
Williams again running the football this time, and he barrels his way to the 35-yard line. Clock continues to roll. Giants have 1 timeout left. Eli Manning will get up to the line of scrimmage, and that's what we were talking about. David just referred to the inability, as Tom Coughlin says regularly, to finish games. Preston Parker snatches it home at the 18-yard line.
Preston Parker inside at that slot position. Gets pressed, breaks it off to the sidelines. Very nice, precise route, clean out of his break. Eli Manning was able to hit that with perfect timing to the sidelines where Parker could only catch that ball, and the defensive backs could not get their hands on it.
Good protection. And that one short on the attempt to Beckham Jr. Again, halftime right around the corner. Kurt, Terry, Howie, Jimmy, and Michael will tell you what's going on in that rumble in the jungle in Cincinnati. The Bengals v. Steelers. Well, what a race that is. In the AFC North, Browns are at home today. They were debating about going with Johnny Manziel as a starter. They stayed with Brian Hoyer.
Stay. Hey, Ray. Go.
Into the hands of Orleans Cartwood, and then out of the hands. It's an incompleted pass. A rookie with all the 4 NFL carriers was waived by Miami a few weeks ago and is picked up by the Giants.
Trying to get him out of the backfield. You see Larry Donnell is going to run that square route, trying to get the linebackers to get out of position. Ball was tipped at the line of scrimmage. And here we're in the 3rd down.
Third down and 10 from the 18-yard line. Down the middle. And slightly overthrown to the back of the end zone to Kevin Ogletree.
Eli's upset with that one because he knew he had him. Ogletree right here in the slot position is going to run that route right through the seams. And after he runs that, he's going to head right towards the goalpost. Right to that middle of the post is where you're aiming on that one. Ball was just overthrown. You saw Eli's frustration after that one because he knows he missed that.
And the Giants, we mentioned, have been so good in the red zone. They've not necessarily been great in the red zone today. 3rd field goal try by Brown. One from 36 yards away. And that one is good. So a 23-0 lead for the Giants. You went into halftime your entire career, more times than not leading, but from time to time behind with Tom Coughlin in there at halftime. Are you surprised they have struggled as badly as they have struggled in the 3rd quarter this year with that in mind?
I think so, because at any point in any game, the halftimes is the biggest points to make your adjustments for the second half. If things are going well, you still have to make some tweaks to get your team in a chess game so that you're winning and executing at a high level the second half. But the most important thing in the 3rd quarter for this Giants team, not only have they been outscored, but that's when they've had their turnovers. That's where they've let teams stay in football games, and they've completely changed the momentum of games.
Eli Manning in the first half, 20 out of 29 for 226 yards and a touchdown. But you know he's thinking about the 3 drives that have stalled deep into Tennessee territory, leading to field goals. Well, this could easily be a 40-point game in the first half for the Giants. The 25-yard line. We talked about that collapse last week. Fumble. Somehow Jennings did not pick it up. Recovered by the Jaguars for a touchdown. Late throw. Had the fumble by Donnell. Picked up. Returned for a touchdown. Blew a 21-3 halftime lead.
And that's the first time in New York Giants history that they've led at half by 21 points in 2 games and lost
Illegal
back-to-back
snap,
games.
number 60, offense. 5-yard penalty. Put 3 seconds on the game clock. 3 seconds on the game clock.
It's one of
Clock will
3
start on the
replacement
snap.
starters on this Tennessee offensive line in this game today. They're without Lewan, their left tackle, Michael Orr, their right tackle, and their regular center, Brian Schwanke. $23-0. The Giants lead it at halftime. So right now, we send you to Kurt Menefee in Los Angeles and the rest of the game for the Visa halftime, which begins right now.
Welcome to the Visa Halftime Report. Visa Checkout, the easier way to pay online.
And with that, to the highlights we go. TV.
Let's do it. Write my notes down. I'm the only one up here that really stays involved. Brian Hoyer on your right, Johnny Manziel on your left. Good football game. Step up, step up. He did what he's supposed to do, Andrew Luck, but he backs up, ball knocked out. And Craig Robertson of the Browns recovers 7-0. Browns defense looking awfully good. Now looking right, 1, 2. Then it opens up in the middle. Good job of maneuvering to the outside. And that's a scramble by Luck of 11 yards. We're tied at 7-all. Then Isaiah Groel. He takes it in from 9 yards out. Potential benching of Brian Hoyer. The Browns were not impressed as he missed the post route. But it's 14-7 Browns on top of the Colts. Buccaneers at the Lions. Calvin Johnson coming off a Thanksgiving Day great outing of 2 touchdown receiving. Well, what do? There you go. Fade route. Gets by the corner. A 6-yard touchdown, 17-10. It is the Lions on top of the Buccaneers. Buccaneers will not go away. Panthers at the Saints. Tell me this ain't true. Cam Newton taking it in, going up high, elevating Curtis Lofton, and gives him a shove. And we got us a little fight. There it is. Here we go. Backing up. Get your hands up. Get out of the way, Cam. Brandon Williams, though, he gets too physical. Look at this. You know what? If the Saints and Carolina would have played like that all year long, they'd had a lot better record. 24-3, though. Carolina on top of New Orleans. Steelers at the Bengals. Ben Roethlisberger standing on the sideline, out of the eye left, close, wing, roll right, play action. Heath Miller wide open, 1-yard touchdown. 7-0 Steelers. Now there's the old read option. The end crashes down. I could have run that in, maybe. 20-yard touchdown by Andy Dalton. 14-10. Bengals on top of the Steelers. Ravens traveling down to Miami. Playoffs started today. Ryan Tannehill and the Dolphins would be in. Tannehill, a quick slant to Brian Hartline. Got inside the corner, in front of the linebacker. Gunned it in there. Tannehill did. 10-7 Dolphins on top of the Ravens.
All right, St. Louis trying to win back-to-back games for the first time this year. The Giants up 23-0 over Tennessee. Jacksonville trying to make it back-to-back wins. They're up in halftime over Houston. And the Vikings lead the Jets 21-15. Visa play the first half. Andrew Luck might not want to see that. Second half of your game after this.